Today we're making Nana's fruit slab, but we're doing it in two halves. Some of us like fruit in the family, some don't. So we've got these left, and to be honest, eating them, they're not great. So what I've done, I've juiced one and put it in with 4 ounces of fruit about half an hour ago, just so it plumps the fruit up. It's just a mixed fruit. And then in here, now this tin is 10 by 14 by 2.5. This is the tin that just keeps coming out, coming out, coming out. It's a huge tin. So this is why the ingredients sound so big. But you need a lot of ingredients to fill this tin. So we're going to do half of the tin as a fruit cake with the orange essence in, and half of it as an orange drizzle. You will get a bit of overlap, but that's okay. So we might as well do the 2 cakes in the 1 tin. So as you can see, let me just move that out of the way. I am currently creaming 16 ounces of stalk or similar with 16 ounces of caster sugar. So you can see I've got a big lump there, just need to get rid of that lump. So when you first get this out of the fridge, it's too hard, so you need to let it soften a bit. You can speed that process up in the microwave. It can go horribly wrong, and you can just end up with a load of sort of melted stalk. So if you do that, you do it at 10 seconds at a time and just keep a very close eye on it. You only probably want 20 seconds at the most, but all microwaves are different. So I'm creaming this in now. Okay, so now for my eggs. Now because it is such a big cake, we're going to need 8 free-range eggs. And the lady we get our eggs from, they're all assorted sizes, so you never know. It's like a mixed tray. So it's going to be, I don't know if it's large, medium, bit of shell in there as well. I'll get that out in a sec. Hang on. There's always a bit of shell in there somewhere. 2, 3. Now in one of the other little videos, I've said keep hold of your eggshells. Dry, put them in the oven on a tray, dry them out, crunch them up and put them on and around any seedlings. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And they act as a great deterrent for slugs and snails. I mean, it's not 100%, but they hate going over them because they're so sharp. So it's a good natural way of a deterrent. The best thing to do is go out there at night and pick them off, to be honest. That's when they're creeping around. Torch, dressing gown, and get out there and remove them. Don't kill them. Just replace them, send them on their way somewhere else. Generally, do you know what, if you put a tiny little bit of Tipp-Ex on the scale, on the shell of a snail, I remember us chucking them when we lived in Deal all over the wall, not into someone else's garden, but into the foot. Do you know, nearly all of them were back the next day because they're very environmentally aware and they like their own patch, apparently. So there we go, it's me waffling on about snails. So we've got our creamed butter, our stalk. This cake actually works better with margarine rather than butter. We've got our eggs. Now I need to add the flour. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to weigh my flour out in case this splits slightly, so I'm ready to go with the flour. So I've weighed out 20 ounces of self-raising flour. Now this one's pre-sifted. Flour's hard for people to get at this moment. If you're watching this later on, it probably won't be hard. So I've just got what I've got, and which is a McDougall's, yes, pre-sifted. So I'm going to go in with a little tiny bit of milk, egg, sorry. Gosh, I'm one of those days today. So you go in and you fold it in. Now I think I've done it on the chocolate cake easy recipe where it actually split, and how you can get it back with adding some flour quickly and it come up. Do you know, it's one of the best cakes I made, and that was sort of almost on the edge of a disaster. So keep adding.
Salvaged.
There we go. So keep going. So when this is in, I'll come back to you. So I've been gradually folding in my 20 ounces of self-raising flour. The last of it in there. And remember when you're doing this to just keep going around the bowl and also knocking it off your spoon, because there's quite a bit of mixture stays on your spoon. I'll turn the bowl so you can see it. So there's quite a lot of air in there. It's a nice mix. Still got to get quite a bit of the mixture in. Okay, there we go, it's lovely. Like I say, this cake is always a good go-to for us, and a lot of it gets frozen, cut up and frozen, and then I just get it out a few bits at a time. You can actually cut it into 4 and freeze it, and it comes out brilliantly after. So it's just a lump of stalk in there. Right, so now is the time you would add your essence. Now I haven't got any orange essence. Orange essence would have been lovely. I've got Sicilian lemon. I thought I had orange, I haven't. So it's a bit weird because I'm going to put this, I'm keeping these 2 for the drizzle for the top, but I'm actually using lemon. That's okay, it doesn't matter, it will taste equally nice. So I actually, rather than putting a drop in, because this is a big cake, I'm really quite heavy-handed. I'm putting 3 teaspoons in. Davin's now searching through. No, we haven't got any.
Just to prove it.
Yes, we haven't. I've searched. Oh, the smell of that is gorgeous. Now you can put less in if you want to, but we love taste, so there we are. So we've got some flour on the edge. Right, so we're mixed in now as best as I can do it, or have the patience to do it anyway. There's a few probably little blobs here and there. There's a few there. So at this point what I'm going to do is get approximately half my mixture out and put it into the tin. So I'm going to clear the depths, not really, I'm just going to pile it up all in the back. Now what I've done with this old tin, I grease the inside of it so the paper would stick, and then I've gone over the paper with stalk. This tin actually is pretty good, it's not a non-stick tin, but you know, it's a bit grotty looking, so I just wanted to cover it up.
Well, it's probably about 80 years old.
Yeah, it's a really old tin, and for some reason, do you know, this will prove me wrong today, nothing will probably rise. So what I'm going to do is just take some of my mixture and pop that in one end. And this is purely guesstimate. You can just do it by eye-ish. Yeah, so we're going to go, and it doesn't matter if some of this goes into the other mixture because it's the same flavouring, it's just that the other bit has got some fruit in it. That's the only difference. Okay, I've still got quite a bit left in there. I'll go for a bit more. Okay, and I'm not going to put anything between it because it doesn't matter if it overgoes a bit. Now, where is my spatula? Have we got it anywhere? I don't know because we were using it earlier. Right, I'll come back to you 2 seconds once we found it. Right, spatula found. So what I'm going to do now is just put these, they're not soaked in boiling water, they've just soaked and they've taken in all the juice of one clementine or satsuma or whatever that is. Because this fruit, you know, it is quite hard. So just, you don't have to do that. I've done it many a time without and it's been fine. In fact,
you've used this as a base for everything from a bakewell sort of cake to
I've used it
all sorts.
For lots of things. The only thing I'm a bit wary of, I've not soaked it like that before, so, but I'm sure it'll be fine in this particular cake. This is one heavy bowl to hold up with one arm. Okay. Put that in there. I am so messy. put that there. I'll just grab that a sec. So you can see orange with fruit. So we're just going to blend that in. Now some of you who are very neat and OCD will be thinking, oh, what are you doing? Do you know my husband's got a spoon and he's eating the contents while he should be here keeping an eye on what I'm doing. Pop that in there. So you can see, you can just about see the seam. Now I've put the oven on to preheat. There we are. I'll put the oven on to preheat 180 when I first started. Now I don't know how this is going to pan out. I used to put almonds on the top. We haven't got any. So I'm going to just put, ooh, all over the wet dot, a little bit of, because obviously this is slightly different. This is, what is this?
Demerara, I think, is it?
Yeah, on this side. It might soak in, it might stay on the top. Don't have to do that. And this is going to go in the oven now, and I'll let you know how long this takes. I can't remember offhand, but you want it to be springy to the top. It normally raises and goes sort of that, like that, sort of a curved top. Might sink today, but I'll let you know how long it takes when it comes out. So while that's in the oven, I've got the 2 satsumas stroke clementines that I've juiced just with a traditional juicer. 3 tablespoons of cast sugar this is for the drizzle. Ooh. I know it looks a lot of sugar, it is really. I don't do this a lot, but it's amazing how much how much
It'll make your fillings ring.
yes, it does make your teeth hurt. I'm going to actually, because I probably would have preferred to have used 3 satsumas, so I'm going to put that in with this is actually lime juice, I think.
Yes, it is.
It doesn't matter, it's a citrus. So it's 2 and 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons of caster sugar. So that is my drizzle, and I'll just let that sugar dissolve in there, and that will go on after, and I'll show you how to do that. So that's ready, and then I'm going to have a clean down and come back to you. What is it they're eating? Is it the dandelion seeds? Oh, the sparrows have muscled in there. Whatever's there, they really like that. I think it's a dandelion seeds. So we've got the cake out. 35 minutes that took at 180 fan oven. The fruit side with the brown sugar on is shiny and slightly different in texture. It's sort of harder and sort of crinklier. This one's softer and has risen a little bit more, interestingly enough. So what I'm going to do is take this out. Pull hard on your paper so you don't get that has wrinkled a bit. Normally I would leave this in the tin longer on a cooling rack to cool, but because we want to do some bits with our day-to-day, I'm just going to turn this on its side so you can see. There we are. So I'm going to leave the paper here because what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a drizzle onto this, and it gets really messy onto your worktop. So if you're going to put the drizzle on, you want to do it when the paper's still there, I find. Now I tend to drizzle around the drier edges. Now this sponge, this is pretty much a orange lemon sponge. You could take that when it's cool, cut it in half and put a filling in it. It's such a versatile sponge, this. I'm just going to do this as a drizzle so it won't have a filler, but I've done this as almost like a Victoria sponge. I've done it as a lemon curd sponge. I've done it, well, the ways I haven't done it with this cake, this section, it's so fantastic, and you can add bits. I've added apple into it. It's bomb-proof. And I always get a good rise on this side. Without the fruit and stuff, it always seems to do really well. Now what I'm going to do, I've just mixed that up. I've got a knife here. It's only had cake on it anyway. And I'm going to cut through. Now really you need to do this when it's cool, because I don't really want drizzle on this side. Now you can see there's a little bit of fruit bled through, not a lot. There we are. Let me turn that if I can. So I'm going to go. Yeah, some of the fruit has sunk a bit, but that's okay. It's a good, nice sponge there. So what I'm going to do with this one is very carefully put that onto good investments, cooling racks, a few of them. And you can see it's a good colour because it's had the free range egg in. So this one now I can concentrate on, I'm going to turn that round like that. Take that few little bits of fruit away, and I'm going to put this on. So give this, you can still feel the sugar in it. So this was 3 tablespoons of caster sugar, clementine juice and some lime juice. And the idea is that it soaks into the holes. Well, this is what I do. I mean, there's probably, people are going to say, no, that's not how you do it. But this is how I've sort of read books, taught myself. So this is what I do. Nothing's wrong. It's what works for you. You might have your own way of doing it. And you can see some of it is dripping onto the paper. That's why it's always good to keep the paper there. And then just let it cool. And then it have sort of like a glistening sugary top. And some of that will have gone into the sponge. So if you have a look here, if I'm sort of going to portion it out, you know, you've got a good few portions there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across, maybe 1. You could go 2 across for a big slice, or 3 for just a little taste. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it could be 10 portions, could be 15 small portions. And I'll just turn that round so you can see the bake on the inside. There we are, nice and, you know, it's got a good bake, it smells good. So they're 2 cakes. Now what I would do with these now is portion them up and freeze them, or go put them into quarters and freeze, so it's easy, you can just get that out every now and again when you want cake, a bit before, and defrost it. There's, you know, as long as it's in a tin, wrapped well, this will actually keep in a tin, airtight tin, for as long as it hangs around. Obviously not too long, but you know, it doesn't normally stay around that long. You don't need to put these in the fridge or anything, so they'll keep well. And this one you could, you know, thinking about it now, I could have put in a mixed spice or cinnamon, a little bit of cinnamon, and that would have made it more of a sort of country feeling cake. So you could have added that, yeah, mixed spice, ginger, that would have gone well in there. You can sometimes replace the caster sugar with a light brown sugar on that one, and that gives it more of a sort of a farmhouse cake too. So that is Nana's cake that I've made so many times and has been eaten so many times, and I've passed the recipe on, so now I'm doing it on a video. Thanks for watching. So we've cut the orange lemon drizzle cake, and you can see the drizzle just coming down there. This is the fruit cake. You can see there are bits of fruit through there, nice crispy topping. This is crying out, if this wasn't a drizzle, for a lovely filling. I mean, look at that, it's such a lovely rise on that cake. So like I say, a really good one to do. Hope you enjoyed that. We're going to have, we probably should cut that in half because that's a whopper of a bit there, Dav, and have that with a cup of tea later.
Yes, I would.
Bye.